To be y'all niggas is spitting some real facts, and I hate to be that old nigga, but I'm feeling like the old nigga because I don't remember women having these standards when I was dating them. Like I don't remember these. I don't remember
That's
these
true,
like
Mash.
requirements of having
is
That's a
true.
millennial
X
thing.
amount
We
of
would go to
dollars
Applebee's.
in order
We
to
would.
date them. Yeah, like,
Bro,
I feel like
bro,
it's so much
Shit.
harder for them now to try to find their partner
bro,
because the expectations are
bro,
so
bro,
wild now.
bro.
It's social
The
media.
internet, right?
It's
The
social
internet
I'm telling
ruined the
you.
boxes,
I'm telling
bro.
you.
Influence.
That
Once,
the
Influence.
millennials, yo, going to 42nd Street as a date was a thing. Okay.
yeah,
It
When you go to
was.
40,
facts,
and
For
that's
facts,
just
free.
basic, and
facts.
it really is, and it was just going to 42nd Street. But it's like I'm on my boo on 42nd Street.
Uh-huh.
You taking a
Let's go.
picture from the picture guy, like that was a thing. Now you can't even
Facts.
approach anybody with no food. I'm just being honest. You
I
can't
did
approach
have a
anybody with
42nd
that.
Street
It's
date.
social media.
I did. I had a 42nd date.
Hell
Too.
yeah.
I had a 42nd date. I definitely had a 42nd date.
Facts.
You go right to that Red Lobster on 42nd Street.
On
Nah,
42nd,
nah.
order
Nah.
out,
Before we
order
moved it.
out. Hold on,
Right,
BBQ.
Red Lobster and shit,
BBQ,
right?
Olive
Yeah.
Garden. And the Olive Garden was down there
Yo,
too.
but
Chill, what's good? It's your boy Mash, aka the Spew Guy Drip Drip. Please hit the drip drip. I need you to stop what you're doing right now. You stop what you're doing. Hit the subscribe button. Don't worry, I'll wait. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Now let's get ratchet the sophisticated way.
welcome back.
Hello,
welcome
hello,
back.
hello.
Welcome back.
Let's go.
What's good,
Welcome
everybody?
back.
Welcome back to the Sophisticatedly Ratchet Podcast, where we do our things our way. All right, so if you didn't know, right, I'm here with my not this lovely. I'm here with my beautiful black castmates. All right, if you don't know, now you know. All right, I'm gonna start with the fellas to the right of me. They combined today. That's Voltron as always. Let me start with my man, the Wanderer. Wanderer, how are you today, sir?
Yo, it's your boy Shaking. What it do, yo. Welcome to the pod, so ratchet. Let's go.
All right, that's what he said.
All right. Their package deal. I'm gonna swing over to my man Flash.
You
Talk your
already
shit,
know
gang.
it's me. It's the more lovable one in this screen. Today I'm the man that believes that only the paranoid survive. It is your boy Flash the Philosopher. It is he. It is me. It is I. Gang gang.
Yo, I want to pass it along to everybody's favorite number 3. Do your thing, Queen.
Oh shit.
Thank you. Ha! Uptown, baby. It is your girl, Little Mo. I hail from Co-op City, Section 5. Don't ever zone my
Ever.
Yes, don't ever do it. I represent everything Bronx. Everything. BX.
Don't zone her shit ever.
Don't zone my shit ever.
Swinging it over to the frozen one, the chosen one. She keeps it nice and frigid around these parts. Ice Queen, talk your shit, Queen.
Hey tribe, it's TJ the Unicorn Gemini, and I bring duality to the podcast. They call me the Ice Queen. Hey tribe, welcome back.
Frigid.
Gang. And I am your
That
host,
was warm.
moderator for today. I liked it a lot. It's your boy Mash, aka the Spew Guy Drip Drip. Please say the drip drip.
Drip,
Represent South
drip.
Jamaica Queens. Appreciate you, Queen. Represent South Jamaica Queens. Only Queens make kings. And it's time to get ratchet the sophisticated way.
Yeah, we like that.
Okay.
Before we jump into the episode, like, comment, subscribe, gang. We're trying to reach 1,000 followers. All right. We've been doing a test on the metrics, and we see that a lot of y'all are listening, but not a lot of y'all subscribed. All right. We need y'all to run it up. Share us with a friend, and another friend, so we can grow the tribe and give you better content.
Yeah.
All right. So
Like that word of mouth shit.
today, I want to talk to you about a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Okay. I can't help but notice a lot of my peers, and if y'all don't know, your boy Mash is a millennial, one of the greatest generations ever to do it. You know,
Yeah.
Soccer Blue. One of the best generations ever. All right.
Okay.
We know what it's like to have a rotary phone and a cell phone. You smell me?
Facts,
All right. We
facts.
know what it's like to have a wired line and Wi-Fi. Okay.
Been
We
through
know what it's
struggle.
all. We know about tokens to Metro cards. All
That's a
right.
fact.
And a lot of people our
Facts.
generation, they settling down. All right. But before we get into the episode, I want to talk to you about our educational portion.
yeah,
All
we
right,
like
because we
that.
educate, entertain, and inform here.
We do.
All right, we're gonna swing on over to Shake for the
Word of the
Word
week.
of the
Word of
week.
the
Word
week.
of the
Word
week.
of
Word of
the
the
week.
Word of the
week.
week.
Word of the
Word
week.
Word of
It's
the
a
week.
dick reading the dictionary.
of the week.
A dick reading the dictionary.
Word of the week.
Mm.
Ah.
Good one, Flash.
Ah.
Good one, philosopher.
Yeah.
Before we get sophisticated the ratchet way, is that saying it right?
Yeah.
Now you got that.
Let's definitely do this educational portion of the episode, all right? So I'm here to bring that to you, and I'm your boy Shake once again. And today's word of the week is pensive. Pensive is an adjective, and it's spelled Pensive, and it means engaged in, involving, or reflecting deep or serious thought. All right. So I'm gonna use it in a sentence. So when it was time to pick the restaurant for date night, a pensive silence fell over the room as once again she couldn't figure out where she wanted to go. Boom.
Okay.
Pensive.
I got one. I
Go
don't know.
for it.
I don't like his sentence too much, but
Yeah. I don't know how
didn't like
a
it
silence
either.
can be pensive,
So-
but
I didn't
I'm
like
with
it
you, bro.
either.
A thoughtful
Yeah.
silence,
you.
bro.
no, you're gone. You're gone. So
Nah.
Thoughtful
So-
silence is a serious thought. Where did you get thoughtful silence from?
all right. So hold on. So a chick that I was
Pensive
dating, she asked, "What are we?" And I grabbed my chin and became pensive.
Yes. Okay.
Mm.
Yes. That makes
I got
sense.
one. So
Yeah.
me and Shorty was getting hot and heavy, and I was giving her all I had, and she's like, "Go deeper," and then I got pensive
Yeah.
because I had no more to give her.
Yeah.
Don't wanna
Yeah. Shook him up.
I can't.
Is it not
Shook
deep
him
enough?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is our word of the week.
How do we play?
And just to let you know,
How do we
all
play?
right, throughout the episode, just so you guys feel like you're part of the episode, and we want you guys to be immersed. So anytime someone says the word during the episode, we want you to, when you hear this sound, flash.
I'm sorry. Not that sound. This
Come on,
sound.
man.
That sound.
Wow.
Take a sip. And then whoever says the word the most times is the winner.
Facts.
And the winner doesn't get any prize. It's just bragging rights. So
I mean, that's a prize. That's a
I
prize.
don't know if you
That's
guys
a
know
prize.
this, but it gets real competitive up in here, right? So y'all pay attention to how many times we say the word in this episode.
Facts.
Back to you, Mash.
No doubt. So, today's episode, I want to talk to you all about people in our age group that's deciding to settle down, right? So, what came to mind for me, to what inspired this episode, is I got a lot of friends in my circle, and these circles are deciding to make major decisions as of late. You know, they no longer want to be out here running amok, right? They want to decide to focus on things that are actually bigger than themselves. And I think that that's pretty interesting. So with that in mind, I wanted to have a conversation with the tribe about it. I want to know what you all have been seeing in your circles. You know, have you noticed a change or shift in people in your age group in terms of what their intentions are when it comes to relationships or intentions come to life goals? I think that people are settling down a lot more. And I don't know if it's because of peer pressure or it's because they legitimately want things to be different for themselves. And that's what led to this topic, inspiration, right? So with that in mind, I have a couple of questions for you all. The first question that I want to put out there, is there any truth to what I'm saying? Do you think that people are settling down because they don't want to be that 40-year-old person in the club anymore? Like, what are your thoughts, Tribe?
Well,
Watch your mouth.
okay.
Right.
You don't want to be the 40-year-old in the club. Watch your mouth, okay?
I mean, I'm the 40 on the day
Mouth.
party. The day
Let's start
party,
there.
not the club.
Thank you.
She took that personally.
Start there. That's where we're going to
fault.
start. Watch your mouth.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
You know, personally, I do have a lot of friends that started really early. Mia, right, Mo? Like she
Yes,
was.
that's what I was
She
saying.
had a
They
baby
married
in
now.
college, got married. Michelle's
Mhm.
married.
Married,
Elise
yeah.
was married. A lot of our friends got married, had kids, and I want to say it's very torn. And then I have, me, Mo, and just a very
Yep.
like a handful of my friends that have it. settled down, maybe in relationships, you know,
Yeah.
two of them just had kids, so it's very catch 22. But I think for what I do notice in our society, I notice that the men want to settle down. Like they're looking to settle down closer to their 40s, 50s or late 30s, I should say. Like they get
Okay.
it and they're like, okay, I think I want to start settling down now. But I don't really see that in the early 30s. Not for men.
Okay.
I think women
Okay.
have been ready since we were like 25
Yeah.
in my friend group. It just hasn't
That's
happened for us.
yeah, that's my experience. I have a lot of friends that are married. I have friends that are in relationships, some who are not in relationship, and then some who are actually divorced or not officially divorced, but definitely not with their
Like
significant other any
separated.
longer. Yeah, separated exactly. So
Hmm.
I do think I find men in their 40 more so already, 40 and up already to settle down. Some of the I'll give it 30, I'll give it 35 and up. I'll be fair. I'll give it maybe 35 and up. Um
Okay.
Yeah.
Younger than that, nah. People still trying to run the streets or whatever. You know what I mean? And so that's
Okay.
my opinion. Yeah.
So
Copy.
so
Mm.
you shared a video with me a few days ago when when we were talking about the episode, setting up the episode about how women have like the power and the dynamics of the relationship and when they're younger as opposed to men when they're older. And I really thought about that shit. Like I think that's
Say that again.
important.
They have the power.
Yeah, women have the power dynamics in the relationship. Women have more choices when they're in their 20s as opposed to like later on when men are in their 30s, they have more choices, right? So this is a real thing because I believe that, and I said this as a shake fact the other day, that women start wanting to settle
That's
down
my shit.
about 28. Okay, 28 is usually the time where they are like that's the last of the Mohicans. They want to start settling down, as opposed to men who are more like in their late 30s, maybe 35 and up, who want
I
to
agree with
settle
that.
down. And it was a shake fact, but apparently it was a real fact. Everybody, apparently, I got it
He
right
got
on
one.
this
He
one.
got one.
Okay,
He got
I
one.
got it right on
He
this
got
one.
one.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
I give you
Because
that.
what I see at this
Give
age
him a
right here,
ding.
women at this age right here, I see them online posting a bunch of shit about how how men should treat women and love and all kinds of bullshit quotes that they put in their Instagram. Y'all be seeing them shits, all right? It's usually chicks around my age that's posting that
Give
shit.
me
You
give
know
me
what
an
I'm saying?
example. What are some of the posts? What are
Yeah,
some of the posts to read? What did it say?
some of the posts that say,
Yeah.
a real man knows how to treat a woman. Okay, a real man takes care of a woman. Real man knows how to love you. It'd be some shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's always
Mm-hmm.
and those are usually the single women at my age.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
they're usually looking at their friends who had got married when they were younger and they're like they want to be they look at those as relationship goals and they want to be there. As far as men, I feel like we kind of just lean into it like eventually it's just like
Mm.
at some point it's just like you know what, I done fucked all the chicks I wanted to fuck. You know what I'm saying? And take this from the dude who used to be the fuck boy, okay? Or I'm supposedly the reformed fuck boy,
Reform.
right? So I
Mhm.
mean, for me, I had got to the point where it was just like I was going over chicks' house and I was going over like I was having these random relationships and chicks were calling me over to smash and it just became just like I felt like a whore. I felt kind of used at some point. And I felt like this was just like
Lies.
no, I really
Mm.
did. I felt used. Like I went over
Mm.
there. Shorty was
He
like,
talked about that before.
but granted, when I was in my early 30s, this is how I wanted to be treated. I wanted to be used. Like I don't want to be your boyfriend. Fuck out of here. Call me when you need me. I'll pop through.
Mm.
But then when you get older, it's just like fuck, yo. Like all of these meaningless relationships for what? Like my thing is, you start recognizing the value in having your priorities change and you start recognizing
Okay.
the value in having a partner that would have your back or having a partner that can second guess your when you come up with an idea, somebody that can actually find the holes in it and help you out and somebody that can work that plan with you, somebody
A
that you can
partner.
rely on. So yeah, a partner. So that's important as you get older. And like I said, as we get older, we just start reprioritizing how we view these type of relationships. So instead of fucking, this is like we start seeing more as a partnership.
Okay.
I 100% agree with you. That is a great,
You agree with
great
Shay?
fact, and I know I was gonna say ding that man because
Yeah.
a lot of the men that I've been meeting have been saying exactly that. Like the last relationship I was in, it was with a 53-year-old man, and he said the exact same thing. A man that I met, also a little bit recently, he was in his 40s, and he's like, I don't want to go to another event and not have my partner with me at this event. Like, you know what I mean? Like they are ready at this age. 53 is pushing it.
Yeah.
And he talked about having a lot of friends with benefits or dating women that were married, and no one really being there for him, like he was always the side piece. Like he no longer wants to be the side piece. He wants to be the main snack. He wants to be the main meal. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And
at
then
53, are you still like a snack? Like I feel like
I mean, yo,
you like
Method Man is actually looking
leftovers at
pretty
that
good.
point, no?
I think he about
listen,
53.
You
know
could be
what
a
I'm saying?
snack. You could be a snack at 53 now.
yeah,
Listen.
I mean, he had a nice ass body. He was very well
See?
kept.
That's it.
Yeah, he was tall, handsome, had his own. He's an entrepreneur. Believe it or not, and he didn't have not one child, and he wanted to have a
Wow.
kid.
That's
His mom
amazing.
had passed, and he was like, "Damn, like I wish I would have had a kid." For my mom, because I know that she always wanted
Nah,
me to
fuck.
have a kid,
Man,
right? So he's
don't
kind of
worry.
like regretting a lot of the things and a lot of the choices that he made. Yeah. So I
Fuck
think
all
Okay.
that bullshit.
about that shape,
Yeah, I get that.
I think the only men that don't really care about settling down are the men that are, I would say, financially free.
You mean
Wait,
high
They
value
can't.
men?
you said the men that are financially free don't care about settling down.
Yeah, there's a difference between a high value man and a financially free man. Financially free is that's an Elon Musk, right? Like he don't need to settle down. He live his life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it. Maybe a high value man in the 200s, maybe even 300s. It's actually frowned upon not to be married when you're a high value man, right? It makes it look like
No.
you you said no.
I don't think so.
I think those are
Oh,
triggering words you're using over here. I'm talking about
You think so?
high value niggas don't need no bitch. Like, fuck you talking about?
real
Like,
pensive.
like
No,
if you was
I
high
think-
value nigga, you wouldn't need no chick. Like, fuck is wrong with you?
Facts.
No, a lot of entrepreneurs, or not even entrepreneurs, men that when you're a businessman, they see you more successful or someone that I could trust in business when they have a wife. When they take you more seriously. You're not like playing the field. It's in a lot of books. Look into
I
it.
feel
You
like
can. It's not a shake
that applies
fact.
to
Trust
women
me.
as well, though. No, I agree that you definitely get a boost in notoriety when you can show that you have a certain level of commitment inside of you. I think that goes for men
Mm-hmm.
and women, though. It's beneficial for
Right.
Mm-hmm.
both, but I understand why you believe that financially free men is on a different level than high value men, but I think they're one and the same in my opinion because
Yeah,
a
yeah.
high value man is the type of man that garners a certain type of woman, I guess. And I would say that so would a financially liberated man, I guess. But what are your thoughts, Flash?
I mean, I think everybody got interesting and valid points to a certain degree. I mean, personally for me, I'm on the ship of like, when dudes is younger, we not really. I think it's a combination of things like certain advice that we get from older dudes. You probably run into older dude and they be like, "Don't get married." Like I've heard this way throughout my younger life, as opposed to like, yeah, man, get married, man, settle down. Nah,
Yeah.
and when you
Yeah.
run into
Perspective.
dudes who who are giving like these are your OGs, they look at you like, don't do it, and it's like you like there's something on the other side. I shouldn't be chasing like that. But and then you also hear like some of the models like money over bitches or focus on you like whatever. So I think there are certain things that men do, especially because we see certain things like success, like how niggas can maneuver with money and shit like that. And we realize, you know what, it ain't even about the women sometimes. It's about the things that you can do around yourself, and the women will come. So, you know, there's certain advice and life lessons that I think we get that make us not have to feel like we need to focus on settling down in the beginning. And part of that is I kind of believe in, because it's like, all right, do you want to settle down and not have anything to kind of show for it and this, that, and the third? You know, so it's like, it's speaking to kind of what you're saying, like, how do you become even a quote unquote high value man, or a man who's, because you can't settle down with nothing, right? Like you don't want to do that. You know, so a man has to learn how to build up something to be like, what does settling down mean, or how can I do that comfortably? And it's funny, like I couldn't tell if the shit was like real or not today. I seen like a video where the dude and the chick was going out, and you know, he was like, "You gonna pay for dinner, right?" And she was like, because she wasn't bringing her purse out and she was like, "No, I'm not paying. You're paying." But he was like, "I ain't got no job, and I'm going through it, this, that, and the third." And she was just so pissed off. And you know, in my mind, I'm saying here, like, I would never want to be that dude that's in that position of where you can't support yourself in your relationship to a certain degree, or hold your own to a certain degree. And you know, and women get pissed off when they in situations like that. Let's just be honest, you know. So, wait, and the question was like, what, like, dude settling down?
Knew this nigga was lost. I knew he was lost.
No,
Yeah.
no way.
No, you good.
Listen,
Right, coming from Flash.
I was going somewhere. I was going somewhere with this.
You good, Flash.
He gonna tie it back around. He gonna come back around,
bro.
I just think
Take
that
a pensive
you allowed me to say
moment.
what somebody
Pensive moment.
Like, Shay, we trying to play my moments. Hold on, I was gonna tie it back in.
You were talking about why you men are thinking about settling down at this age,
right?
As opposed to when you were younger.
So you got to build yourself up, right? I think that's a common theme as far as like male.
Okay.
You got to build yourself up before you can get all the women and the glitz and the glamour that comes with that or whatnot, or settling down or feeling like settling down is worth it. That's what I'm kind of saying. Tie it back.
So why do
That's
you think?
very true.
Why do you think there are some reasons why people aren't settling down? Like,
I think exactly what Flash just mentioned.
To my people,
In the male, for younger men,
male and
I
female.
feel what Flash just mentioned for men in their younger age, it is that. A lot of men are going to tell you, these are your golden years. Figure yourself out. Because, you know, Mo, remember, we were with guys in our 20s and they were scared to settle down because they're like, oh, I want to be making X amount of money first before I settle down. I want to be, you know, making that I'm at this level in my career. I want to make sure that I have my own place. Like, they weren't, whatever that I could provide, you know, even just for themselves sometimes, because it was a struggle. So I think for men, that was one of the things, that was the conversation that they were having when we were ready. And I think as they get older, you know, they're more settled in their career, or they just have a handle on life. So it's different. And, you know, for women, I think when you're younger, you know, the world is your oyster. You're ready to settle down, but you're dating men at your age. I love Kevin Samuels because he gives amazing advice to that age group of women in their early 20s. He's telling you, you are at your prime. You need to be looking for the guys in their 30s, looking for the guys that are ready to settle down, but we're not there mentally sometimes. And in our friend group, either in college or in our workplace, we're talking to people our same age. You know what I mean? And so, and they're just not ready. Kevin Samuels gave great advice. It just was for the women. It's targeted. It should be targeted for the women that are in their early 20s. And he makes fun of the women in their early, you know, in their 30s and 40s or whatever.
40s.
I'm complete.
Yeah,
30s and 40s. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to add to what you was really saying, though, TJ. It's like the prerequisites for men and women are totally different. And when I think about like what women try to look at as a base layer for, like, this is the type of guy I would settle with, the list, as far as the base list, the rider that comes along with a guy is a lot longer than the guy who'd probably be like, all right, can she bear children? Maybe can she, you know, satisfy me with sex? Can she maybe cook? And even nurture certain things that maybe just come easier for women. Like, they don't have to work hard to do certain things for the prerequisites, right? And I feel like for guys, they got to work harder for their prerequisites to be like, all right, now a woman wants to settle down with you.
You know, First off, women want to settle down with you early, and them niggas. First off, them niggas in their 20s who was telling you they needed to get their career together and all that shit. Those were excuses. They just wanted to pop bottles and fuck bitches, and that's what they wanted to do at that age. And we wanted to
But they're not settling down.
And I'm
Not
not
everybody.
I'm that nigga going to tell these young niggas, guess what, yo, enjoy your 20s, nigga. Fuck that shit. Fuck all that relationship shit, nigga. Enjoy it. Have fun, okay? Pop bottles. Have fun. Yo, fuck as many girls as you can. Do not settle down with the first chick that pop your cherry, bro. Calm that shit down, all right? What you should be doing is enjoying life and then working on building yourself. Now, my thing is, as you get older now, you know what I'm saying? Now you start coming into your own and you start getting your own thoughts and you start thinking, and I'm not saying you don't have your own thoughts when you're in your 20s, but you start, I feel like in your 30s, you start taking these relationships and you start thinking about relationships more seriously. And I think that's important for men when they get to their 30s. But in their 20s, they should be enjoying themselves. A lot of dudes who get married in their 20s, I'm going to be honest with you, they end up picking the wrong girl because they fucked up and they ended up fucking with this chick in their 20s and shit. Now they in their 30s and they fucking miserable, okay? Because they didn't know who they were yet. Well, how about you find yourself first and then you can figure out what a relationship should look like for you. Maybe when you get a little bit older.
Pensive face.
There you go.
I'm in a wow.
We gonna start calling him Flash. Shaker Diamonds.
No, I have something to say. This I'm in a pensive mind state over here.
There's a cool down, Mo.
Yeah, but I'm just using the word, but whether it's a cool down or not, I'm definitely in a pensive mind state over here because I agree with Shake.
Oh, man.
I agree with Shake because as far as settling down, I think part of settling down also is fear. You know, you're still learning yourself, right? It depends at what age you are. And I do believe that men in their 20s, and no shade to y'all, when y'all 20s, y'all really still in your teens, as opposed to a female who may be in her 20s, right? You still do want to have fun. You want to experience life. And if you're fear to the female, you don't want to tie her down when you know you're not ready, right? So it's that fear of like, I don't want to, this is a good girl. So I think it's that. I agree that at that age, they do need to explore, do what you want to do, whether that's have sex with, get all that shit out your system, right? Because that's the age to do it. I think you're still finding yourself at that age as well. Still learning likes and dislikes and coming into yourself. You may not be ready to be a husband at that point in time yet, because that's a whole different thing, right? So if you acknowledging that, then you're right about that, because being a husband and being a wife is a different kind of level, right? Now you're moving into a collectiveness. Are you even ready to be collective? Are you still a person who just focus and caring about themselves? Do you know how to give, right? Do you know how to give to somebody else? So all of those things in my mind factor into that age, and you may not be ready, and that's okay for you to not to be ready. So I think that's part of a reason to answer your question, Mash, into why people may not be ready to settle down in their younger ages as well.
Yeah, and you know, Mo, I'm gonna just say you what you were saying. Like, I feel like they treated, at least in my era growing up, they treated niggas like definitely more juvenile than women who possibly maybe knew what they wanted. I say that to say, even with my aunt, like she used to be going to these parties and shit, and the parties would be like, all right, if you're a woman, you can go there, you can be 21, but however, for the dudes, you got to be like 25. You know, and I was saying, like, why the discrepancy?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, they don't think dudes are sometimes probably ready for certain environments and shit like that. Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah.
And not for nothing, men feel that way about other men too. Like, no guy wants to go to a party with when the age group allows 18-year-old men into the party.
Oh, hell no.
Right.
Nah.
Right.
You know,
I went to an 18-year-old party.
Y'all not about that life either.
I went to an 18-year-old party. That shit ended 10 minutes after I walked in. I said, let me get a drink. Then the nigga had his shirt off. He walking around. I was sitting there like, party over. Fuck that shit.
That's when you went to last week?
Nah,
I do want to. I agree with that. Even with my cuz came up here, Rashida came up here, and I haven't been to a club in years, and we went to a club downtown. I am honestly telling you, I felt the fuck out of place when I was at that club, because I was just like, that's the first time ever. I was like, first of all, I don't do clubs. I'm a day party shit, and at 12 or that's my time to leave. Club, and that's what I was trying to explain to her. I'm like, nobody does clubs in New York, but this is what you want to do. Fine. I went, and I was just standing there like, no, like how old are these people? Are they 18 or 21? Like, yeah, this ain't it for me,
What
baby.
what what did you see specifically that made your
It
alarm
was
go off? Like
Taj.
what
Went to Taj. And it was
what did you
people,
see?
and it was yes, and it was crazy because those guys that was maybe like 38, that was there 35, and they was talking to us, and we was joking around. They was like, "Oh, y'all cougars," being. But we had a good time with them. But it was just like just the scenery, like just I'm standing there like the dressing number one, and I be and I'm not judging anybody in their dressing, but it was just looking like, and then
What
just
was
the
some of the pictures?
youngness, huh?
They're wearing pajamas and shit.
Well, the reason I'm
No,
asking
the
that specific question is
uh
because I want to know what it is that turned you off about the scene, right? Being a woman of
huh.
being a millennial, right? What did you
Hmm.
see that made you feel like this ain't for me, or it made you feel uncomfortable? What was it that you saw?
It was just the youngness, like the faces, like, and I'm, I look young for my age too, but the baby faces look like the when the dancing was going. I remember I was going to the bathroom and just like the crowd and like yeah, like everybody's in the crowd and like dancing. It's kind of like shit. We used to do this shit in high school. Like what the fuck are we crowding around each other
Mm,
for? Like get on the bitch and dance, my nigga. Like y'all in a circle,
mm,
we're doing whatever bullshit y'all doing. You know what I mean? So for me, I was just like, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't
Yeah,
it. This is
yeah.
not
Got
it.
you,
Yeah.
got you.
Hmm.
So, what Shake said definitely resonated with me because my step pops, Mr. Mo, he used to be like, "Yo, get your notches, Mal. Get your notches before you decide to commit to, a relationship," because he was a firm believer in understanding yourself before you can understand how to deal with another person in a relationship, right? And he felt that it was important for me to meet different women to understand how women are so I can figure out what type of woman I want,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because ultimately you're meeting the representative at first. Once you get past that layer, you're going to see the true nature of the person that you're dealing with. And then you have to decide then and there, like if you want to continue or you need to separate. But get your notches in the meantime. So that was a big deal for me coming up. And to, like you said, Flash, the OGs give you that insight. They give
yeah.
you that incentive to not settle down. At
Mm-hmm.
least for my generation, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They
Facts.
gave us the precursor, like, nah, bro, it ain't worth it. You need to just
Yo,
continue to do
yo,
what you're doing and
Mm-hmm.
enjoy yourself in the meantime. That
yo,
was big for them.
yo. You know how many houses I went into doing cable, and like the dudes will always wait till the wife walks out the room, and then he'll look at me like, "Come here, come here." And I'd be like, "Yo."
I'm mad this has happened multiple
Yeah, and
times.
it's like he'd be like, you ain't married yet, right? And I'd be like, nah, sir. And he'd be like, don't do it.
Oh
and, then,
my
and
god.
then the wife come back in, that nigga transform like he don't. I'll be like, like, all right, back to work, nigga. Should be crazy. I'm
And
telling
I'll
you,
be
man.
honest with you, I feel like women do that to other women too. You know, the
Mm,
older that I get, I'm now meeting a lot of women that are like, don't have kids. Bitch, don't do it.
mm,
You don't need to
Mm-hmm.
do it. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I feel like it's that same energy. It's like, they suck the living daylights out of you, and everything is mommy, mommy, mommy. You know what I'm saying? Daddy could be
Hmm.
sitting right here, but they asking mommy for everything. So it's that we women get that same thing as well.
I feel like when
Got
women
you.
do it, they usually have like 4 or 5 kids and shit, and then they looking at the young chicks like, "Don't do it, don't." But if they
Hmm.
out here childless and they fucking enjoying their life and shit and traveling across the world, they not telling these young bitches don't have kids. It's your choice, your body, your choice. Okay, do what you
Mm-hmm.
want, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
And
saying? But the
Shay,
ones who have kids and who like, I mean, as a kid, and especially the ones who are still having kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, who are like, you can
Yeah.
see the stress in their fucking eyes.
mm,
Those are the ones telling the young
yeah.
chicks like, yo, please don't, okay? Do not have kids. Take it from a dude who had a kid at a young age. When I see young women have kids at a young age, like I look at them and I look at them with my sad eyes and I'm like, poor baby, why would you do that to yourself?
I
Why would
was
you?
right about to reference that. I was right about to say
Yeah.
Why
Shake
would you
said
do
this in
that?
another episode. And I agree. I
Yep.
feel the same way. Like, sis, you didn't even travel. You've never even
Trap.
left New York
It's
City. You've
crazy.
never been
Ding
on a
ding
flight.
ding.
You've never
There
been
you
to
go,
Miami.
T.
That's like
mm,
that's like right
Mm.
across the street. For us, we're traveling. We're
Mm-hmm.
world travelers. We have
Yes.
master's degrees, and you're
Mm-hmm.
struggling trying to, work at McDonald's and figure
Crazy.
out you're living with your mom and
It's
you got,
hard.
a
Hmm.
baby. Like, and the
mm,
baby daddy is still running the streets. It's just,
Hmm.
it's like you watch the generational curse of
Mm.
babies having babies,
Mm-hmm.
and you're
Right.
watching. It's sad. It's sad, Shake. It's scary because it's like they're creating so much trauma for their kids. And I'm not saying all of them. There are a lot of
Mhm.
very uh, young adults that can handle having a child and getting married. You know, there's a lot of them
Right.
that do it really well, and kudos to them. But a
Yeah.
lot of them, I'm like, damn, you're creating trauma for your
You,
kid, and you don't
Yeah.
even know that.
sorry for the interruption, tribe, but it's your boy Shake,
Oh yeah, and it's me, your boy Flash the Philosopher from
the Sophisticatedly Ratchet Podcast.
gang. And guess what? We have an incredible opportunity for you.
Yes, we do. Are you a small business owner? Do you own or run a barbershop, a nail salon, a hair braiding salon, a car detail shop, or even a restaurant?
Nah, maybe you're a lawyer. You might even be a real estate agent, rapper. Either way, you out here with a hustle, right?
Well, we have an exciting opportunity for you. We would like to highlight you in this section of our next week's episode.
Oh yeah, on gang. And guess what? For $75, we can host a 30-second ad for your services. Maybe you want more airtime. Guess what? $150 will get you 60 seconds of ad space. And maybe you're doing something like a discount or offer for your business, your website, or even your social media.
Facts, facts. This is a great opportunity for an entrepreneur to get in front of a growing millennial audience. If you're interested, you should email us at soratchetpodcast@gmail.com.
You already know. Sorry for intruding, but let's get back to the show, y'all. All right.
As
I still find, even with what you just said, like even people, and I can name the name that's a year younger than us, said to me like, "Yo, Mo, I envy you and T. Like y'all always be traveling and stuff like that." And they was like, "Man, listen, and they're in a good space, as far as work and their livelihood too. But even with that, they're still like, damn, like." I wish I could have lived a little bit more before I had these kids. And I'm like, well, you have kids. That's part of your legacy. You know what I mean? So you got to look at things how you want to interpret it, right?
You know what's crazy
Yeah.
though? As a young person, like I really go back and look at myself as a young person and as myself now, and I understand why it makes sense to wait to have kids because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't have the patience to deal with kids back then. I didn't really have the
Right.
patience, and I feel like I have way more patience now. I'm a lot more easygoing. I'm a lot more I'm a lot more mentoring now that I'm older.
Yes.
But when you're younger, you don't have that life experience to be able to teach your kids. And what happens is you end up raising these little knuckleheads. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they didn't have any real guidance. Because guess what? You were still a fucking kid yourself. And you couldn't give them the guidance
Absolutely.
that they needed growing up. So I understand why it makes sense to wait till later on in life to have kids. And I'm not saying all young parents are trash, but there are a lot of trash young parents, and it's what it is.
They
So
definitely.
So I agree. And I also think that speaking for myself, my mom had me when she was 18. Yeah, my mom said no, she
Mm,
had me when she was 19. She had my sister when she was 17. And when I was coming up, I wasn't allowed to express myself emotionally. Like it was like don't talk
mm,
back type environment as a kid. And a lot of other people that I know had that type of scenario coming up. It's like I feel like as an adult, well, in my current body, right, my vessel, my big age, I have a certain level of emotional intelligence that I would want to pass on to my kid at a young age,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that that's something that the previous generation didn't really like. There wasn't a lot of light shown on that as it is now, to be emotionally intelligent, to treat your kid like they have a voice, to do those things. And I think that if I did decide to have a kid, like you said, Shake, I'm in a space now where I would promote that out the gate, right? I would
Mm-hmm.
want my kid to be emotionally intelligent and make that a ongoing thing as they continue to grow into adulthood. I think that that's something that was lost upon our generation as far as being able to express yourself. What are y'all thoughts on that? Do y'all agree, disagree?
I agree.
I agree.
I disagree with that. My mom
Yeah.
wasn't really. I feel like she's such a great mom. Shout out to you, mom. Shout out to Gloria.
Mhm.
I feel like she was always like, "How do you feel? I love
Mhm.
you." She was that mom. I mean, I think
Mhm.
the only thing that I could relate to with you, Mash, is the culture, and I think it's a Jamaican culture. It's also it stems from slavery. I
Caribbean.
don't mean to go so deep, but it's like you do as I say. I say do this, you do this right now. You don't do it, you get whooped. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have time for the back talk. You do exactly what I say. And so there's a little of that, but my mom is like, "How do you feel? Like what's wrong?" What, like my mom she really did talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Go
No,
ahead.
no, I mean when I think about like what Matt's saying, and I don't know like your upbringing to you, but sometimes I feel like you got certain families that have, survival mentalities that make
Mhm.
them a little bit more stern, in my opinion, at least to
Hmm.
their kids. And
They called it discipline.
right, and it was trying to discipline because
Yeah.
like even what Shake was saying, that, sometimes you ain't got enough patience probably at that time in your life because you're so focused on like the survival aspect. So it's like if
Right, right,
like
right.
if you as the parent don't have it all together or you don't have those soft skills to be able to or had the time to even sit with those skills long enough to be able to profess them back to your kids or whatnot. Nah, you're just running
Right.
on, nigga. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm gonna just figure this shit out. And no, I need you to listen because I don't have no other tools besides being more stern to you or this, that, and the third. Because yeah, I don't
Hmm.
have the time or the patience and this, that, and the third, and all that does feed back into the kid and does affect the kid a certain way to maybe like what Mash is saying. So
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like you thought about it as like generational. I do think that is also generational, but I think our generation at some point, I feel like we were like that too because remember we grew up that way. You know what I'm saying? But it took us to get into our 30s and 40s and for us to kind of find our own path and figure out how we want to parent different. And like I'm gonna take something for what Flash was just saying as far as your toolbox. When you're younger and all you have is what your parents gave you, those are the things you have in your toolbox. But as you get
Right,
older
right,
and
right.
you start seeing more and you
facts.
start experiencing more and you start understanding more and you start growing more, you end up adding more things to your toolbox. And all this stuff right here are things you can use not to screw up your kid, okay?
yeah,
You got a better chance
Right.
of
Hmm.
not screwing up your
yo,
kid.
your son, you know what's wild? Mash, you saying like you couldn't even like be emotionally express yourself made me see like yeah the kids nowadays how they grow up. It's like I was watching a video of Northwest and I don't know what the hell they was talking about, but she was so expressive and just just wow 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 wow. It's like she had this abundance of either happiness or joy around her talk, and I'm saying like, nigga, I was not talking like this as a kid. If
Mm.
anything, I had to look at my mom and be like, may I say something? Before you
Yeah,
can
but
even get all
yeah,
wild.
Don't
yeah.
get TJ started with rich people now, okay? This is, you was a, nigga, you
I
was
missed that. What?
rich people, nigga. Fuck out of here. They got better more tools. They more shit than you do, right?
Oh
Oh
yeah, that's
man,
exactly it.
That's a
No,
fact.
that's exactly it.
That's a fact.
no.
They go to the best of schools. They talk to all the mentor. They got mentorship, all that shit. I realized that I never had somebody to ask for advice when I was a kid. Like I really didn't have somebody I could go to for
Mm.
advice. Somebody asked me that shit when I was a kid. Like, did you ever go to people for advice? I'm not saying the people didn't exist, but it wasn't my go to people for advice.
So no
And
uncle,
and no,
no
no,
like big
I never
brother,
really
no
asked for advice.
teacher.
Now, were there people who gave advice? Yeah, there was people who gave advice, but there was nobody I really
Hmm.
actively went to. Like I needed to speak to this person for advice. You know what I'm saying? And I realize how important that is now at growing up.
Hmm.
Now that I've grown
Yeah.
up, you
Hmm.
know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah. You didn't seek it
Hmm.
from anyone at that time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
at the
got
same
Yeah.
time too, I gotta think about like role
yeah.
models. I want to ask advice for somebody who looks like a role model in order
Mm-hmm.
to understand how to steer my life.
Hmm.
And right, like to Shake point, not saying like I didn't have like adults in my life or whatnot, but when I'm thinking of, I saw something in somebody and I'm like, and maybe I did get the tips for what somebody knew, but you could tell like when somebody is either just so into their studies or they have enough tools where it's like they just giving out knowledge, and I'm sitting here like that's the person that I want to learn from or take advice from, somebody who can give you that knowledge or that extra like I would have never known unless you said that shit. But not everybody
Mm-hmm.
is seasoned sometimes with that.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, you're influenced by different things based on the generation, right? We were addicted to, or not addicted to, but the TV was our thing. Now it's social media. You know,
Yeah,
so
facts.
for a lot of
Mhm.
our generation, it was, fast money. Who could make it on TV? A rapper or a basketball player. Like we saw those influences. If you didn't have like an uncle or a mentor, like a big brother, your influence was kind of the things within your culture, like
Yeah.
rappers and basketball
I,
players for
Yeah.
men, right? And even for girls, I would say it was TV influence.
Yeah. Biggie Smalls told me it was okay to nut in a chick mouth, and that went sideways for me.
all right. So, question to question to the drop.
I remember that. Go ahead.
This is a really good talking point. I feel like, what do you think are some important things to discuss with your partner before settling down? Right? Like we talked about emotional intelligence and how important it is to be able to express yourself, And for me personally, when I think about what I want for my child, when I do decide to have children, I want my partner to also have that same mentality too. Like I don't want to be the only one in a relationship, you know, allowing them to talk and she is like, yo, what's your problem? Just do it. Da, 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 da. I think that that's important to discuss
Mm,
before you decide to
to
settle
be
down with
aligned.
somebody.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So what are some things you think are important to discuss on your end?
Mash, how do you ask
So
that though? How do you
I would
ask
say,
that? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, mom.
oh no, I would say definitely child rearing, finances, because that's very important. You want to know who's responsible for what, how we're gonna do this. Um, Finances, child rearing. What else is important? You said before settling down. What is your goal? So you can
Yeah.
settle down and oh, right. So you can settle down and you know be boyfriend and girlfriend because maybe nobody wants to get married, or you can settle down with a goal of okay, this is the goal we want. We want to be married. So finding out what the goal is for you for that particular relationship, because not everybody wants to be married, and that's okay. But they can still be in a committed relationship, right? So that's part of
Right.
settling down too. What do you want? Do you want to just like I want to be in a committed relationship. So do I. Do you want to get married? No, I don't really need to be married. Okay, I don't really need to be married either. So that's what that couple wants. The other couple, no, I want to get married. I want to get married too. All right. So now you're talking about a time frame. Okay, well let's within the next 2 years, let's set this goal because that's what we both want. So things of that you should definitely be having conversation about. I would say.
So Mash,
I agree with that, Mo.
Mhm.
real quick though, when you say that you want a woman who can raise, like who's the ideal woman to raise kids, how do you ask that
Mhm.
question? How do you
It's the
decipher that
mindset is what
unless they're
he's
around
referring to
other kids,
mindset.
unless you see how they
Mhm.
interact with
Well,
kids?
I think an important way to have that to figure that out is to have those conversations about what it was like for them when they grew up as a
Right.
kid.
Mm.
Right? I would
Right.
ask them like, "Yo, what was some of your experiences?" And having that dialogue of exchange about what it was like for them will allow that conversation to go. Like, do you want to raise your kids the same way you was raised?
Mm.
I think
Right.
that that's a
Like
good entry point to have that
Can
deeper
I
level
can I give an
conversation.
example? And another example
Sure.
of how Matt asked that question is, I know this is for you, Shake. For example, he can say, "Hey, babe, if we have kids together, do you believe in discipline or physical discipline?" She may say,
Hmm.
"Yeah, I believe in physical discipline," and he may say, "No." Okay, well, that's a no for me. That's a yes for you. So how can we compromise in the way that we're going to discipline our children? So
Hmm.
that's just and that's a basic. I think that's a a question that you got to ask, right? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
just so you guys can be on the same, just because you guys could be on the same page. So that's a simple question too. Like, do you believe in physically disciplining a kid, or
Let me
what
tell
does
you
that look like
something.
for you?
I believe in physical discipline as the last resort.
Right.
All right. I
Yeah, you
don't
need.
not believe in it,
Mhm.
but I believe it as a last resort. All right. You
Absolutely.
know what I
Right.
mean? And you don't need to use it unless it's necessary. But talk to me in my 20s, I was a different nigga. Okay. It's
Right.
ass whooping first. All right. Oh,
Mhm.
you not doing what I'm telling you to do. Ha! Like, nah.
Right. So
Why
that's
do you think that is? What do you think changed your mentality? What do you think helped
Uh,
broaden your outlook on
I
that?
realized growing up a kid to adulthood right now, I have noticed it didn't really do nothing. It didn't really work, right? Like ass
Mhm.
whoopings every day don't do nothing but exhaust you, exhaust him, exhaust both of y'all. Eventually they get used to the ass whooping. It's just like, hey, right? And then you just whipping their ass and you tired. And then eventually they get big, and then now you can't whip their ass no more. Now they still
Right.
don't have
Hmm.
the tools that they need, okay?
exactly.
Because you thought that was the proper way to handle them. So if you
What
talk
made
to
you feel
them,
that?
As I
Was
got
it the way you
older
were
and my
raised?
kid got older, and I realized, because for me, it was like the last time I put hands on my kid, he was like 12, right? And I never really go crazy with it. You know what I'm saying? Like a belt and shit. Like you told the teacher, fuck you. Okay, all right.
Right.
So it'd be like it was like that. But after 13, I was just like, you know what? At this point, you really got to make better decisions for yourself. And this is how I started talking to him. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to make it for yourself. But I felt like if I had started a lot earlier with conversations like that, it would have made a bigger difference as he grew up. You know what I'm saying? At growing
So
up.
that's my question to you. Where did you get that first mentality from? Was it your culture? What
The
was it
first
your
mentality? You
upbringing?
talking about the ass whipping?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to get
Yeah.
my ass whipped all the time. Okay, that was my parents' go-to ass whippings. But at some point, I got
And did
too
you
big
feel
for
like it
ass
helped
whippings.
you? Did you feel like it changed you? Did it create change in you?
No, it didn't.
And
But
you
you know
still
what?
did it.
But that was the only thing in my toolbox because I was in my 20s.
Right.
I'm laughing because my sis, I was talking to my sister today on WhatsApp and a video chatting, and I called to see my niece Journey, and me and my sister, I feel like we came up under the parents who had the toolboxes of certain sayings even when you was getting disciplined, and I saw my sister being like the gentle, like, I'm gonna say this in my inside voice, Journey, and she was like, put that down, and they got a little loud. She's like, put that down, but she's trying the new methods. But then I be thinking about like my parents and shit. You always hear the lines, if you can't hear, you would feel.
You must feel. You must
feel. Are you want something for cry for? And in my mind, I'm sitting here like, how
I'm
many
gonna give you
years,
something to cry for
like,
after they whooping you.
Like how many years was like this thing handed down, son? Like I'm talking about like from like.
No, you be looking at them. Y'all niggas are soft now. Y'all soft.
Like because in my mind, like that's got to be something that was passed down from like the elders. That had to be like probably even before slavery. It's like they probably were saying, if you can't hear, you would feel like in whatever language. Because I'm saying like that's not something niggas made up. That was a tactic to say like. We gonna teach them by this way. This is how you teach them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I want to make a comment. Okay.
Sorry, I just want to add that I talked to my mother now about the ass whooping she gave her, and you think she got fucking amnesia. Like she don't remember none.
Like, she don't remember it?
Son, my mom too, bro.
I was like, yo, you don't remember fucking us up? She was like, I hit you. I'm
Yo,
like, bitch,
son.
you hit me.
Yo.
You don't remember? I remember. How could you forget?
Bro.
Yo.
Bro, yo, I came to my mom as a man and I asked for an apology, and I said to her,
Nigga, you wasn't getting that.
I had a whole speech and I said like, Ma, do you remember X? And I bought dates. and or just like circumstance, and I was like, you don't remember me this and she was looking at me like, I don't remember that. And I'm just like nothing. Like these are like. I don't want to. It's not trauma.
They etched this stone in your mind.
But in my mind, I'm saying like you should remember those assholes because the way I remember them, son, it's different.
It's okay not to be okay, bro.
That was like a regular day.
I told my mother the
That
story
was
when
for
she
you,
beat my
Shake.
ass in
Sing that,
strawberries because
man.
I was
you got
acting
that?
up in the basement throwing shoes and shit. She was like, I did that. I didn't even remember doing that. My ass still hurt, Ma. Like, I know you might have forgot, but I still remember that ass whooping.
Facts. That's a fact.
You know what? That's the point that I want to make is, have you ever had a parent that had children after you and they just got softer and softer and softer?
Facts. Yeah.
That exists.
That was me. with
That
my daughter.
exists. You may
That's
have
me with my
gotten it
daughter.
the worst. I see my mom and how she's raising my cousin because my cousin grew up with us. My mom she's like the worst kid out of all of us. I'm like, yo, I felt like she was the worst one. Like she would have my mom come downstairs and pay her Uber at 3 a.m. I could never have called my mom and be like, at 3 a.m, can you come downstairs and pay my cab? What? Like, I feel like you just get softer and softer as the years go on.
That's a fact. That's true. That's true with parents. With some of them.
Yeah, they get softer and softer. I could have never came back home to my mom and said, "Hey, mom, I want to be a dominatrix." Like I could have never done that. Never.
Your sister's dominatrix?
My
her cousin.
Yeah.
What?
Cousin.
Yeah.
Well, can we have her on the show?
And my mom
Ask
knew.
her.
No, she said
Yes.
she doesn't want to be on the show. She doesn't want to be on the show. I asked.
Oh,
Boo,
we need a
Yeah.
resident dominatrix. We need one
And
of
you know
those.
what? I think I don't really have resentment for her, but I feel like she's disrespectful. I think I
Right.
have that old school mentality where I'm like,
Mhm.
you so damn disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, we don't have a great relationship. We
Yeah.
really don't.
Got
I would get
Because
that.
I think that some of the shit that she's done is like ridiculous. And she's gotten
Outrageous.
away with it. And
It's
to me, it's
outrageous.
just disrespectful.
I
But it
mean,
could be from the old school way of thinking, right?
yeah, but you gotta remember
Go
too,
ahead,
like
Matt. Sorry.
the older people get, I'm guessing, they're more pensive with the decisions that they're
Okay,
gonna
the
make, especially when it comes to
all around the
discipline. I'm just
board.
being honest. I'm just saying,
That's pretty good.
had to round that back.
I don't know who's
Okay.
It's mad.
We got to break this tie. So
Ain't no fucking time. Keep going.
everybody
Keep
on the
going.
board except for you, man.
I'm not on the board. I'm not on the board.
Keep the show going. Keep the
You
show
said
going.
pensive.
I didn't. I'm not on the
I'm
board.
definitely on the board. You bugging.
Yeah, Bash is on the board. I'm not.
I'm
Is he?
definitely on the
Oh,
board.
okay. Well, I'll
Yeah,
kick
yeah, I'm
you
the
off.
only one not on the
Thank
board.
you.
But go ahead.
Yeah, drop
Alright.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
moderator. Do your thing, bro.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
man.
do you think?
So I think that a reason well, we getting toward the end of the episode, and I don't really have a no bad days, but I wanted to talk to you guys about, do you think that acknowledging your mortality has any impact on people settling? You think that that's an incentive also?
Yeah, I mean, yes
It,
and no.
it could be.
I mean,
It
go ahead.
could
Go ahead.
be.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be because really, since you brought that up, reality is the person may feel like they don't want to be alone. They don't want to die alone. They want to have someone that if they fall on their deathbed, they have somebody that could care for them that they can be with. So that is that could definitely very well be a part of settling down. Yeah.
Go ahead, Flash.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you
So,
sound like you want to skip.
No,
me.
I
Go
was.
ahead,
What
no,
I
go
was
ahead,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
is,
Skip
my
me.
thoughts on this shit. My thoughts
We
on
so
this shit.
millennial for
I
that.
never was.
Skip
I
me.
never went out. Was like, it was never mortality for me, right? Like I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna die alone and no shit like that. Because worst case scenario, I always thought when I got old, I could find myself a fat chick, and I'll be fine. Okay, so if worst case scenario, nigga.
Did you find that?
Shake, cut it out.
No, I'm talking about I got old and there was nobody else and I done ran out of chicks. I found myself a big girl. You know what I'm saying? She going to say, get him.
Nah. Yo, he is so ignorant.
Yo,
Super ignorant.
I understand. I'm not saying I agree, but I understand. I agree.
Not for nothing.
But I
All the women on 500-pound life, they all have men.
They all got a man. They all in relationships.
They all got a man.
All these-
You ain't lying.
All these
big
goddamn
relationship.
chicks are taking those Ozempic nowadays, so this shit's getting out of control, nigga. I'm running out of choices.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, bro.
Good
Nah.
for you. Good for
Nah,
you.
but
ahead.
your man, you said if mortality causes people to settle down. I think it's 50-50. I think either you get a sense of what Shake's talking about. It's like, do you want to be alone? You start realizing what matters more to you. But then you see some people who just revitalize and they jump in. They're like, fuck this marriage, especially for the people who's getting divorced or whatnot. I think they start still thinking about their mortality too. But then people also want their freedom to a certain degree, right? Because maybe we realize settling down sometimes requires us to be a little bit more locked down, or I can't do the things that I want. So, and that doesn't work for everybody as you get closer to your mortality. So I think it always is based on like what this person is valuing or what you're more in touch with, as far as like, do I want a more familial feeling? Do I want to have people around me caring for me, loving me, or am I just in like travel mode and I don't give a fuck? They got this joint. These motherfuckers went on a 9-month cruise around the world. I ain't never seen no shit like this, but they got a cruise you could do for 9 months. And in my mind, I'm sitting here like, damn, son, like that's, for me, that's some shit that I would probably do like towards at the end of my life. You know why? Because maybe I just don't want to be around everybody and shit. And I could tell people like, nah, I'm out. Like I don't want to see nobody for 9 months. I got nobody that I care to keep up like that, because I want to do this exploration for me. That's part of like a mortality feeling for me. It's like I'm gonna start doing all the cool shit that I feel like I should be doing. So yeah, I just say it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it's more
What is- TJ, you look real
experiential.
pensive.
It's the experience. I feel like, similar to what Mo said, I am an ICU nurse, and I see death and dying all the time. And unfortunately, when I look at the men, they have no one because they ripping and running, ripping and running. And the only person you got is your mama. And your mama's 70 years old, 80 years old, 90 years old, dealing with you in a hospital bed. It's like he never
Mhm.
valued
I
having a
mean,
partner, never
according to you,
valued
TJ.
having a wife, right? And then you would have like the girlfriends come, and that was a little awkward sometimes as a healthcare professional, right? Because I can't tell her anything. She's just the girlfriend, right? Like
Right.
legally. Right. So,
Mm.
it's those situations. And I think it's also experiential in the sense that, you may want to. It may be something that you just want to do. Like people don't want to die alone, or you know, like for example, the guy that I said that was 53, his mom had passed.
Right.
That was like pushing him to like, yo, oh my God, my mom just passed. Like, I think I want to have a wife and have kids, and I don't want to be alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, she
Hmm.
was kind of all I had.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's everybody's experience that kind of shapes you and shapes your
Absolutely.
thought process, even when it comes to mortality.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Got
Yeah.
you. So, do you think that it's important to be with someone who checks most of your boxes, or be with someone who checks all of your boxes before you settle down?
Oh, this is a good
Mm.
question.
I
In a
feel like.
perfect world, I would say in a perfect world, I want to be with someone that matches all of my boxes, but I don't know if that exists, and I'm just being transparent.
It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't.
So
It does.
somebody that could catch most of them. If you can check most of them, I think you're winning. If
Oh,
you
get
can
mine.
check
Catch them
most of them,
all.
if you could check most of them, you're winning. But and I'm being honest, to sit here and say for everyone to check every boxes, I don't think that's possible.
It's
Yo,
I'm being
unrealistic.
real.
Yeah.
the
It's
reason why
yeah,
it's
it's not
unrealistic,
possible.
the
But if you
reason
can check if you could check the 7 out of 10 or the 8 out of 10,
Or the
you're
ones that
doing
mean
good.
the
You win.
most to you.
The
the
most,
mm-hmm.
yes. There you go, TJ. Right, then you
the
winning. I would say
reason
then you got a good thing.
the
You got a
reason
good thing.
why
Hmm.
it's impossible for y'all is because y'all got too many fucking boxes. Okay,
No,
dig me, bro.
I don't believe
Now
that.
The
let me
older
tell
we
you
get, the
something.
boxes go
Men,
down. It went
yeah,
Get
from
lower.
like
yeah, yeah,
20
Thank
yeah.
you.
boxes to now
Thank you.
4.
The
Men
boxes
have
get
less
lower.
boxes.
The boxes
Men
get
have
lower as I
less
get older.
boxes.
Knock it off.
All right, cause y'all chicks and shit, y'all don't want a nigga that eat with his mouth open and shit. He chew with his mouth
So
open.
let me
That
ask
be
you,
one of
Shake.
y'all boxes. You
Let
know what
me
I'm
ask you
saying?
right now.
But you
Let me
know
ask you
what?
right now,
What's
Shake.
I
up?
Right?
have
Since you
boxes
have
too.
Shake, since you have these lower boxes, does a female meet every box of yours? I'm
Yeah,
asking you a
I
question.
feel like a woman has to meet all of my boxes, and I'm at the age right now where where I wouldn't settle down
I
unless
didn't say.
women
I
did
didn't
not
say.
meet all my boxes.
You,
Now the thing is, see
Have you
now,
met someone that
have you met
you didn't
someone?
answer
You
now,
didn't hear my
clarity
no, no,
question.
King's
no, no, no,
Thank
no.
question.
you.
It's not. It's not
I
that.
said. Did
No,
you? All right. Go
what
ahead.
I'm saying is that as a man, I feel like I would settle. I feel like as a man, men are. It's easier for men my age to settle down with women that check all their boxes because we have less boxes. Women at our age have all these boxes. Y'all the ones who gotta be like, oh, there's certain boxes I'm okay without. Like I said, the one box is like
I hear.
he chews
I
with his
hear
mouth
everything you're
open. That's
saying.
one of the
Hold on,
boxes.
hold on, hold
Tell
on,
her
hold
you
on.
shake her diamonds. Tell
I
her you
hear,
shake her
I
diamonds.
hear everything you're saying, Shake. I asked
Tell her
you,
you shake her diamonds.
I'm shaking
did you
diamonds
meet?
now.
Did
Watch your
you
That's my
mouth.
meet?
name. That's my
Watch your
name now.
mouth.
Shaking diamonds.
So you
Okay.
need to tell me that they're the female that has checked every last one of your boxes.
No, no,
Every
I mean,
last one.
I'm to
Oh,
be
that's
honest
all.
with. No,
Stop
no, it's
right
no, no.
there.
I'm saying
That's
that
all I
I would.
wanted to hear.
No, no, no. And my thing is, this. I would settle down with a woman that checks most of my boxes and shit. To be
That's what
honest
we
with you,
said. We
and
just
that, and
said
to
that.
be
I'm
honest with
asking.
you, we can men at my age can wait for women to check all of their boxes, but I feel like
Okay.
women have too many boxes. Men have less boxes to check. You know what I'm saying? They have to be. They
Now
have
y'all
to.
be creating boxes. Y'all be creating
No, it be
circles and triangles.
about the
You
it
gotta
be
Oh
stick.
about the
God.
You gotta
sex.
suck my
It
dick
be
every
about
night.
the
Y'all, that's a
ambition.
Exactly.
triangle.
It be
That's
about
a
the
triangle.
it be about the
Turn
kids.
TJ Michael.
But go ahead, go
No,
ahead.
turn TJ Michael.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
do not bring
Because that's
sucking
a
dick.
fact. Oh,
Do
and
not
every
bring
night.
sucking
Oh,
dick as far as like that can't be a negotiable. That's a great negotiable.
That's not negotiable,
You
bro.
watch
That's a
it.
box.
But no, but
Whatever.
I
That's not a box.
No,
Because
it is.
y'all be
Fuck that.
sitting in relationships a few
That's
years
Mel
in,
Gibson.
and be
That's
like,
a
I ain't
box.
got no sex in
That's a
like
box.
3 weeks. That's about right. That's about right. Y'all
Right.
know when y'all ain't have sex in 2
Nah,
weeks, And you know the last time you got your dick sucked the way you really liked it, stop fronting. Y'all
You
fronting
see,
right now.
no, but to kind of
Y'all
mix
be
what y'all
having the
saying.
bitches that don't do that shit. That box is not checked.
No, I'm gonna tell you this to what y'all saying though. I think men do a better job at making sure women fill their non-negotiable boxes because I feel like there's you have a set of non-negotiable boxes like you got to have this and for men that those probably set of check boxes are a lot smaller than the women who have the non-negotiables as far as like these new women or whatnot. Now you got the pluses as far as these other check boxes that you want people to check, which are the nice to haves. I think there are more dudes with the all right, it's nice to have a chick with a fat ass. It's nice to have a chick with a deep throat. It's nice to have a chick with an unlimited supply of pussy. It's nice to have it. And his list might go on and on, but at the end of the day, a man I think is more fulfilled by having a woman that fills the non-negotiable boxes, and he understands like, that other stuff maybe I don't need. And I just say maybe.
Be nice to have, but maybe I don't need. I like that.
Women think the same way, believe it or not. Women
you.
think the same way, believe it or not. I know that's, something that you guys may have to have a pensive, opinion about it, but it's the truth. Mo and I feel the exact same way. It's taken us a minute and now we're there. You know what I'm saying? Like before our boxes used to be a lot. Now I'll settle with a nigga that's balding.
Thank you, sis.
I'll settle with a nigga that got a little bit of a belly.
Sis, I'm a settle. Yes, sis.
And I don't want to say settle.
Yeah.
I don't want
He
to
got
say
money,
settle.
but he got a
I hate settle,
change.
but no.
not
We're
settle.
open
The
to
priorities
it.
change.
Open priority. It's open to it. Openness.
Yes.
More openness.
I would say the priorities change and the preferences change as you age, right? Things that used to matter to you before really don't matter. I don't want a nigga that look mad good and can't pay the bills. And sometimes it be like that. I don't want a nigga that's gonna talk to me all crazy.
That swagger ain't the same swagger that I was attracted to.
No.
In my 20s. Yeah. It ain't it. Sorry.
I agree.
so funny?
I think that the boxes do change as we get older for the same reasons that you mentioned earlier, Shake, our age, right? Younger women have more boxes, but as their value in the dating market goes down as they get older, because that's a fact, their boxes get smaller and smaller. Those number of non-negotiables get smaller and smaller.
Non-negotiable boxes, like Flash said. I think that was really
like that. Okay, that was
non-negotiable boxes.
Have you seen like the younger women non-negotiable boxes?
Crazy.
They be on like Mandingo niggas.
Crazy.
7-inch
Crazy.
tongue, 300,000 plus. Fast car.
Can't take me nowhere for freaking dinner. Like we can't. No. You gotta take me to Roof Chris for dinner.
McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. No, not negotiable. Come on.
You know what's to be y'all niggas is spitting some real facts, and I hate to be that old nigga, but I'm feeling like the old nigga because I don't remember women having these standards when I was dating them. Like I don't remember these.
That's
these
true,
requirements of having.
That's a millennial thing.
X amount
we would
of
go to
dollars
Applebee's
in order to date them. Yeah, like I feel like it's so much harder for them now to try to find their partner because the expectations are so wild now.
Social media.
The internet, right? The internet
I'm telling
ruined the
you.
boxes.
I'm telling you. The millennials, going to 42nd Street as a date was a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
It was.
And that's free. Basic. And it really is. And it was just going to 42nd Street. But it's like, I'm on my boo on 42nd Street. You taking a picture from the picture guy. Like that was a thing. Now you can't even approach anybody with no food. I'm just being honest. You can't approach anybody with that.
It's social media.
I had a 42nd date too. I had a 42nd date. I definitely had a 42nd date.
You go right to that Red Lobster on 42nd Street.
On 42nd. Or that. Hold on.
Red Lobster and shit, right.
And the Olive Garden was down there too.
Yo, but you know what they want now? You know what they want now? They want that shit from one of Maya Kono's Greece where niggas push the fucking plate of food over the pool and shit. And you be sitting there like, oh, this is how I'm eating lunch, bitch. Right? Yeah, nigga, they want the new shit now. They want the new shit. They're not into that no more, nigga.
You know how much money they spent on that BBL?
Let's not front.
To pay.
Nigga.
Let's not front. We were watching TV. We wanted to be big pimping. We wanted to be on a yacht.
Facts.
We wanted what we saw too.
Yeah,
so
but no,
we don't want to be the old school millennials acting like back in my days. That's how we sounded. Believe it or not.
Right.
Yeah, but TJ,
but it's the facts.
Yeah.
It's real. Like that's a reality of what we're dealing with because of social media. I think. Well, to be perfectly honest, and I'm getting off script now, but look at this generation has so much access to baddies, right? to find baddies in my day, you had to go to clubs, you had to go out, you had to be
You have
out
to be
mixing and
outside,
mingling.
You
yeah.
had to be
Now you just
outside.
open
Yeah,
your
you did.
phone and they there. Like they so accessible to you versus how it was back then. So like it's easy to be like, the expectation is here now, right? Of what
But the
a
baddies
potential
have
woman could
changed
be.
too, Mash.
Yeah,
Your
100%.
baddies back in the day was the basic bitch. She wasn't
it was.
wasn't
She
crazy.
wasn't.
She didn't have a whole
Yeah,
bunch of makeup and hair. She had was she not or no?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Because
agree.
that's
I
not
think
what we
I
were
don't know.
doing.
Moderator, close this shit out, bro. You
Okay, sorry.
gotta close it out, bro.
Yeah.
I thought
Close
you
it
was
out.
gonna say, I
That
thought you was
can't
gonna
off
say, shut up,
because of the
TJ, and then
comment.
go on. Like sometimes you gotta tell TJ, shut up, bro. Go
I
ahead.
mean,
Nah.
Whatever.
Nah,
You know
I think there's some truth to what you're saying, TJ. The standard of beauty has
Yes.
changed.
Yeah,
Like
they
the standard
changed.
of beauty has changed because I've never been a thing. I've never been a fan of weaves and extensions. That wasn't a
Right.
thing that I was into. But bust downs are a part of the culture now. Like
Yeah.
that's like a
Yes.
statement. I
Nails.
think that's what you probably. Well, for me, if I were to go to a spot and I see a bunch of bust downs, I know I'm in the wrong spot. Like I feel like this is not the right circle for me to be in, or this is the right age group for me to be in. If this is just a bunch of bust downs there. But I digress.
Okay.
I don't have no bad days for this episode. Does anybody have a no bad days they want to share?
now we gotta do without.
We gotta do, we gotta close it out, bro.
No bad days today. Let's close out. The winner
Who's the word of
of
the
today's Jake's word of the week, Tally Woman. You got the tally?
Tally me banana.
Six.
De
Total
la
of six.
come me wango.
Ooh.
And I won.
Okay.
Who won?
So it was a
Who
total
won?
of 6.
Who's the winner?
Okay, so if you were listening at home or listening in your car, you should have had about
Whoa,
6
whoa, whoa,
drinks.
whoa,
You
whoa, whoa!
should be
How
feeling
much
this
time you
nice
said it?
Disney right
How much
now.
time TJ said it?
Ooh,
So
she said
the
she said
winner
it
is
too.
myself, TJ.
How many
Flash
times
said
did
it
she
once.
say it? No, I said it
No.
twice.
Okay.
Oh, you
said
did?
it.
So this
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
tie.
Oh,
It's a
so
tie.
wow.
Ready?
Whoa.
Oh
Ready?
shoot!
You ready?
Wow.
You need a
It's a
second
tie.
opinion.
Second opinion.
All right, come on, son.
It's a tie.
All right,
Let's do
all
it.
going
right.
first.
Moderator, pick who go first.
I want TJ to go first because he cheating and shit.
Facts.
Go ahead.
You know, cheating. Okay, whatever. This episode was really good. And Tribe, I hope that you guys have a pensive time reviewing this episode. And let us know your pensive thoughts in the comments. Okay?
Exactly.
You can't do that,
Flash,
bro.
you up, Flash?
Y'all
Flash, you up?
haters.
Flash,
Y'all
you didn't even know how to get
haters.
your
Go ahead,
sentence out.
Flash,
Flash
go.
is a mess.
I'm used to y'all hating on me. It's okay.
Y'all were thinking the same thing I was. Boo that, boo her. Anyway, I just go and say, before you settle down, just make sure you take pensive thoughts and make sure it's the right thing for you. All right, gang.
Oh,
No bad days. Hold that, TJ.
no bad
I
day.
give it
That
to
was
you,
annoying.
bro. I give it to Flash.
I give it to Flash. Good job,
I
Flash.
chew, nigga.
All right, well, Flash got it.
I chew, nigga.
Your tribe, thank you so much for tuning in
Until
and listening
shit.
to us. We love you. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to
Peace
keep
out.
giving you content out here. We love you, gang. Peace.
Facts. Later, y'all.
Peace. Come back next week.
Yep.
Gang.
Gang.